Interest rates are setting new peaks. Which real estate portal should you be using? And builders are gearing up after a decade of underbuilding. All this and more as we dive into this week's market report. Let's start off our weekly report talking about who's building what. With housing inventory at an all-time low and the number of existing homes for sale dropping 18% year over year, home buyers are increasingly turning to newly built single-family homes, which now represent 31.4% of all homes on the market. Single-family home permits and starts rose in July, and that means that the 3-month average for single-family home permits has now risen for 5 straight months. And that is great news, but unfortunately, it's just not enough. Builders are on pace to complete around 1.4 million new housing units over the next 12 months. But according to the Census Bureau, households are being formed at the rate of 2 million per year. And if you did not catch what I said, I mentioned builders are building 1.4 million units. The key word there is units. Builders are betting on a good portion of buyers buying multifamily units versus houses, as 23% of the new builds are multifamily. So comment below, as a new family, are you looking for a detached house or a multifamily unit? I'm sure for the builders it comes down to price point and the cost to build, and at the same time for the families it comes down to affordability. But do you think in the future everyone will be living in some sort of attached multifamily unit? Will that be the only financial option as we move forward? Let me know your thoughts below. Our second topic today is the mortgage market. The average 30-year mortgage rate hit a peak of 7.37% in October of 2022. Now, 10 months later, and despite a significant drop in inflation, we hit 7.37% again on Friday. Now, headline CPI and PCE, the inflation that affects consumers, have halved over the last 10 months. And core CPI and PCE are down 20 to 25% and would be much lower if not for the significant lag in the shelter costs. PPI, which is inflation for businesses, is also collapsing. So why isn't the Fed cutting rates, or at least officially stopping them? They want to see core inflation closer to their target of 2%, where we still have a long way to go for that. They also want to see the labor market loosening up, or unfortunately unemployment rising, but that hasn't happened either. And they were hoping for a reset in the housing market, but haven't gotten that. So their efforts have added to the ongoing inventory shortage, which is a negative for everyone involved, including the Fed. Our final topic today, how many homes are for sale in Vero Beach? Well, that all depends on who you're asking. Just about everybody searches for homes online. They use sites like Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com and of course TrippsMyRealtor.com. And it would be natural for people to assume that every property portal has access to the same listing information. It would also be natural to assume that if there were a difference, that Zillow would have the most listings because, well, it's the biggest. But assumptions would be wrong. A recent study randomly picked 12 cities, large and small, across the country and typed the city name into the portal's main search bar. The results on average, the low reading was 40% lower than the high reading, and that's a big difference. So I ran a search for homes in Vero Beach, houses, condos, duplex, all categories on 3 of the major sites. And as you can see, Homes.com has the fewest homes for sale in Vero, reflecting 1,279 properties. Zillow had slightly more at 1,339, and Realtor.com has the most properties showing up at 1,778 properties. That is a 500 unit difference from Homes.com to Realtor.com. But how many of these properties are actually for sale in all of Vero Beach? Well, that number, according to the MLS, is actually 692 properties, almost half of what Homes.com shows and a third of what Realtor.com shows. So why the discrepancy? You see, these websites do not remove the homes that are already under contract, and that means that you are looking online and you are saving homes to your favorites folders. Those homes already have signed contracts on them. Then you plan your trip to the area to see these amazing properties just to find out that they are not available. What a waste of time. So what lessons should we take away from this exercise? Well, if you're actively looking to buy, let me know. I use the MLS and I have access to the most accurate, timely listing information. I'm constantly searching and I'm notified of all coming soon listings before they hit the MLS. And I'm also notified immediately if a listing has fallen out of contract. I can narrow down your search to include all your wants and your needs so no one is wasting time. You see, in a highly competitive market like the one that we're in today, a delay of a day or an hour could mean that your perfect property sells before you even find out about it. So let me help you. I'm Tripp Hernandez with Dale Sorensen Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida. Thanks for watching and have a great week.